What's up guys? This is Sun Warrior 2, and on today's video, I will be talking about the new April 2020 Hall of Heroes, the Dark Dice Magician Monte. So this is again another Hall of Heroes where the monster is actually a LD Nat 4. So quite rare, not very common, but a good chance to get a new LD Nat 4 for beginners. So I will be giving you guys some skill and usage info on this new monster, Monte. So Monte is similar to the other Dice Magicians in terms of the first two skills. So, but technically Dice Magicians, all three skills are technically RNG. Their skills are all kind of based on luck. Yeah, so it's kind of based on all three skills. Rolls 2 dice. All the effects actually are all based on the number you get on the dice. So similar to the other Dice Magicians, the fire, water, wind, and light. So pretty similar. All of them actually have skills like that. But usually Monte isn't really used in a lot of content because of his third skill. It's not really good in PvE and dungeons, and with raid, the third skill, Destiny Dice. Rolls 2 dice to redistribute the HP ratio of enemy according to the smaller number you get on the dice. So you roll 2 dice. So for example, you get, dice has 6 sides, right? So if you get like a 1, then that monster will have its HP reduced significantly, so you can pretty much nuke this thing, nuke the monster target monster quite badly. Whereas if you get like a 6 or a 5, you pretty much just deal insignificant damage. So yeah, this is a skill based on luck, just like all of the Dice Magician's skills. Second skill, rolls 2 dice to attack all enemies and randomly grants unrecoverable, decreased defense, increased chance of landing hit effects for 2 turns. More effects will be granted as the sum of the numbers increase. Instantly gains another turn if you get the same number. Yeah, as you can see, all the skills here, you gain an extra turn if you get the same number. So technically it's something like a violent proc, but something similar to a violent proc, but if you technically if you get a violent proc, you can put violent there, but it's not gonna really add up. It's not gonna really add up the chances, but it's gonna be useful if you don't get the same number, you still get a violent proc. So yeah, it's actually still okay if you use violent, but you can use Swift too on him, so that his speed, he actually has a good base speed of 102. Yeah, good base speed. So you can use Swift and give him some extra speed. Yeah. So plus one thing about Dice Magicians, including Monte, is that since all their skills and their effects are all RNG, it's actually not very good to trust the rates. Because when you want defense break, they don't give you defense break. You want glancing, they don't give you glancing. You want unrecoverable, they don't give you unrecoverable. You don't want anything, they give you everything. Yeah, you get what I mean? Then it's like, then after that you want glancing, they give you defense break. You want defense break, they give you unrecoverable. You want glancing, I don't know what, they give you nothing. Yeah, so it's kinda, the rates are kinda untrustworthy, so that's also another thing about Dice Magicians. But if you actually get the effect that you want, then good for you. It's technically also the same for the first skill, so you roll 2 dice, attack enemy target 2 times, and you grant an effect according to the number you get for 2 turns. So if you get a 4, you get unrecoverable. If you get a 5, defense, decreased defense. If you get a 6, glancing hit chance increase. So for 1, 2, and 3, there isn't really much. There isn't an effect for 1, 2, and 3, whereas there's only effects for 4, 5, and 6. So yeah, if you line up 1, 2, and 3, you get no effect. So, but Monte's actually not used in PvE and with raid and dungeons. It's because of his third skill. It can be used on bosses, so it's literally just a redundant third skill down there. Literally quite a redundant third skill that doesn't do damage. So best not to take him into dungeons and rift. Plus, people don't use Monte prematurely because his third skill actually has a very high cooldown of 7 turns. So, plus it's also based on luck. It's kind of a RNG. So, 7 turns for an RNG skill, not very efficient. So people will skill him up first, then they'll use him. Yeah. Plus, if that enemy monster has low HP, and you use this skill, if you get a high number, there's actually a chance that you might actually heal the enemy monster. So it's actually not very fair in terms of rates. Yeah. But a monster that one of the elements that actually can be used in it's actually similar to the rest of the Dice Magicians, but the rest of them actually have they have similar skills. All their skills, as just like Monte, all of Monte's skills are actually RNG. So Ludo, yeah, roll again, also RNG. If the dice number is high, then damage you deal will increase by 70%. If the number is low, damage dealt by opponent reduced by 70%. So it doesn't accumulate with other decreased damage effects. So it doesn't accumulate with effects like Vagabond's effect, Light Vagabond's passive. Yeah, so it doesn't add up to this, something like this, or it also doesn't add up to the Dark Death Knight skill. Also doesn't add up to Dark Death Knight's passive here. Decreased chances of receiving, yeah, and does reduce damage of other allies by 15%. Yeah, it doesn't add up. As you can see, it doesn't add up. Yeah. So since it doesn't add up, so people just use him in. Technically, people just use him in. Technically, all the Dice Magicians are usually used in Guild Siege and Arena. Rarely used in RTA because the rates are not reliable. Yeah, the rates are not really reliable. So, usually not used in RTA, but once in a blue moon, you still see one of these. Yeah. So, as you can see, it's technically all based on RNG. Yeah, Reno is actually one of those that actually is deals more damage. Yeah, that actually deals more damage because of his third skill, Dice Madness. If the number, it actually rolls the dice 4 times. If any 2 times the numbers are the same, you actually ignore the enemy's defense. So it's kind of a 4 to 6 chance that you, 4 to 6 chance that you get a 2. No, not 4 to 6 chance. 2 in 6 chance that you actually get the defense break. Yeah, something like that. So it's actually used more in dungeons and PvE and in raid than the rest of them because it doesn't have a passive and the Dice Madness actually deals more damage. Plus Reno is also a Dice Magician that has also been in Hall of Heroes. So most likely his pieces will be collectible in Guild Shop one day. Yeah, if you have bought his pieces in Guild Shop, then yeah, good for you, cause I haven't seen his pieces in Guild Shop yet. So he's a Hall of Heroes. Most likely you can buy his pieces in Guild Shop. Guild Magic Shop, yeah. Then you got Morris. Morris is actually one of the 2 support types among them. So he's actually used more in Guild Siege and Arena defense because he's actually kind of a every turn revive. Yeah, he can actually revive twice. Like if he actually rolls it right, if he actually rolls his passive right, he can actually revive each ally every turn. 1 ally every turn. Yeah. Plus, he's very annoying because... Yeah, he's actually very annoying. Because one thing is that he revives all allies. So, imagine you have a nuker on your team. On your defense team. You revive and the nuker just wipes out the whole attack team. That's just kind of toxic on the opponent's side. The opponent might actually be salty because of that. So, yeah, it's actually good for defense. And finally, Tableau is seen a lot in RTA. Seen a lot in RTA, Guild Siege offense, and Arena offense. Yeah, very commonly used. This is the one that's very commonly used because of the 3rd skill. Usually goes last. In the team because it actually resets the attack bar and gives all your allies except himself. Speed buff, and he stuns himself. So this one usually ruined with violent will, so that if he gets the first turn, when he starts and when he goes last, he uses this skill. He doesn't stun himself whenever he uses this skill. Yeah. Tableau is the one more commonly used, but Monte very rarely seen because number 1, it's a LD Nat 4, so people don't really see him a lot. It's quite rare. Plus, he has this skill. This skill is it's quite RNG. It's actually RNG with high cooldown. Not very reliable, so not commonly seen. But usually it's used with monsters like Molong and definitely the Wind Heart Magician, because one thing is that when he uses this, after he uses this, the Molong can go in and then use 2nd skill AoE kill, or the Molong can just use 3rd skill and all that. Yeah, it's kind of a good comp to use this with him using Destiny Dice starting off first. Then Molong would just go in for the kill. Yeah, it's actually good for that. And you actually don't have to ruin him attack. He's actually one of those monsters that actually deals damage when you put him on HP. So you can put him on Violent. Yeah, you can put it on Violent Blade, Violent Revenge, yeah, Violent Will, depending on where you're using him in. Or you can put him on Swift instead of Violent. Yeah. So Monte is, compared to the rest of them, is somewhere in the center. If I were to rate Monte among all 5 elements of Dice Magicians, I would actually rate him as a 3 or a 4, because his 3rd skill, high cooldown with RNG, not very reliable, not very efficient in anything other than Guild Siege offense. So that's all I have for today. Like and subscribe to my channel. If you want to see any more content, put it in the comment section below. I'll see y'all in the next video. This is Sun Warrior 2.